Turning to the court proceedings as well, Maggie Haberman reports that Donald Trump continued to fall asleep during the proceedings as well. And, you know, what I'm hearing from my sources as well is that, you know, and I'm hearing from credible sources who know what's going on in the courtroom. And what I'm hearing is that, take it for what it's worth, but that Donald Trump is actually farting in the courtroom and that it's very stinky around him. It's a putrid odor in the courtroom, and that Trump's lawyers are like repulsed by the scent and the smell.
Trump's legal defense team must be happy to get a day off in court for Passover, but they're going to need to raise their rates over the extra dedication they're committing to having his back in court. They just have to figure out how to keep him awake and not frowned up at the judge.
He particularly looked tired, and he did have his eyes closed for most of the day. I can't say he was sleeping. Sometimes he is listening when he has his eyes closed, but he looked fatigued when he came in.
He seems considerably older, and he seems annoyed, resigned, maybe angry. He seems like a man who's miserable to be here. And that's, you know, I'm no body language expert, and this is just my observation, but he seemed old and tired and mad.
And I'm sure most Trump supporters would suddenly honor and respect a guy that angrily sits in court, waiting for another opportunity to scatter to reporters outside to spend the day to them. Even though in the past, being upset about what someone calls unfair treatment, especially in the judicial system, was seen as a bad thing. They even say it ages you.
True. Anger ages you faster than any emotion because it requires a consistent supply of energy. So it shows up over time in your face, in your hair, in your body. It's no different than any kind of substance abuse. You can only look young for so long, and then people notice it. I made a chart for you to follow. All right? As anger goes up, ugliness increases. All right? I'm playing to their vanity. You people are not attractive, and you're getting less attractive every day. I would listen to Uncle Greg here and just maybe think about, you know, taking a break.
So as long as you're mad about injustices being carried out across the world, your anger is detrimental. But if you're upset about being the first former president to catch multiple criminal cases with loads of evidence backing the charges, it's righteous anger. And regardless, it's looking like it ages you. But still, he misrepresented the judge when he got mad about Barron's graduation and Melania's birthday. Even barked about this taking him off the campaign trail and not being able to go to his immunity case being heard by the Supreme Court last week. So naturally, he must be making up for the lost time when he gets a day away.
Donald Trump was golfing this past Wednesday as he's been complaining that he can't get out on the campaign trail. What are his golfing/campaign plans in the days and weeks ahead?
Right. Well, you're right. On Wednesday, he was at his Bedminster Golf Club golfing. And this weekend, he's going to be at Mar-a-Lago.
He's golfing in his free time. The complaints are not for logical listeners. They're for the people willing to take his disproven word as the gospel. His campaign stops are actually those rants outside of the court. And now that mention of hanging out in Florida might actually result in something related to his presidential bid after all, though, as Ron DeSantis showed up at the King's feet for a makeup session that may rival Ted Cruz's decision to kiss the ring as well. This campaign of complaints is where a majority of their focus is anyway, as it doesn't seem like his attorneys have any reason to believe that they can actually win in court outside of procedural delays and appeals.
Do you think at this point that even if Alvin Bragg were to get a conviction, that there's enough material that this could be overturned on appeal?
100%. And if you have any doubt about it, I've seen the vitriol happen in the lower courts. I've seen it happen with the Attorney General case. And look what happened there. We had a $475 million insane judgment. We went to the appellate division. They lowered that immediately. And that's what I've always said. These are long game trials. They're not necessarily trials that will win when we have AGs and DAs going to the Biden administration and coordinating with the top.